Welcome back to WCS America Premier League Group F on this beautiful Monday afternoon, perhaps Monday night for you late night Europeans. Thank you guys very much for staying awake. And of course, hello to all of our Americans and everyone that's watching from around the world. Probably some Australians in the mix. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. That's the best way. That's what we do in America. The melting pot. We'll take the melting pot of viewers too, guys. Happy to have all of you here. We've had some pretty cool games so far. Honestly, I'm a bit impressed that Illusion defeated Handrelisk. I would not have called it looking at this group if they had to play, but he did it, and now it's time to find out who he's going to play and, well, who he won't.
It would be amazing. Illusion would be the very first non-Korean player to qualify for the WCS America round of 16 if he wins his next series. So a lot of pressure perhaps on his shoulder. Could Group F be the group of, I don't know, I want to say like hope or something, but then it would be Group H. So what game? F, like fantastic. Frankly, Illusion? No. Fun? Fun Illusion?
The group of fun, sure, why not? Let's go with that.
We'll go with the group of fun. Either way, we are getting ready for our next series. It's going to be played between Alicia, representing Axiom Esports, and TooDming, representing Zenith of Origin. It's going to be a ZVP. TooDming is also a Grandmaster League Zerg player on the Korean server. Don't underestimate these Chinese players, guys. They are very good. Of course, if you go by history, if you go by track record or achievements, anything among those lines, Alicia is a massive favorite on paper. But TooDming impressed me a lot Season 1. I've said it multiple times throughout the show, and I'm going to say it again. I believe that he can do this, Nate. I believe in a thing called TooDming.
Yeah, I believe in Alicia. I believe in the power of Protoss for this series, and I know that these maps have made the ZVP matchup, I would say, shift a little bit closer in favor of Zerg, but Alicia just has that champion caliber experience, the experience playing on a big stage in front of lots of people live, and he's made it to the round of 16, he's made it to the round of 8, the round of 4. I don't think there's much stopping him. I'm glad we've picked opposite sides of the fence here with you being the Protoss player especially, but I like Alicia in this series. As cool as it would be for TooDming being Chinese representative, he would be our first Chinese player to move on, right?
Yep, if you guys just joined us and you're really confused about what's going on, today we switched the order of the matches. So we did our first 2 matches, then we did the losers match, and this is the winner bracket match. So the loser of this series will still have another chance to qualify, as he will go up against Illusion in the final series of the day. But for now, if you win this, you're done. An extra $1,000 in your pocket, an extra 100 WCS points under your belt, and above all, you can start browsing the interwebs for your ticket to Southern California, which is perhaps the biggest prize of all, Nate. Just come here and never leave. That's how beautiful it is.
The biggest prize of all. All right, guys, we're loaded.
Well, don't do that, guys. They get really mad if you stay too long.
We're loaded in, and that's some deep meta, Roddy. Our first player in the top right position of Habitation Station is the red Protoss player representing Team Axiom. It is Alicia. The man who knows how to keep Dark Templar under floating orbital commands, Kevin.
That is like the one thing that you always remember.
It's the stuff of nightmares for a Terran.
He did all these beautiful things throughout his career, and the only thing that you could talk about is the Dark Templar blocking the orbital. Shame on you, Nate.
Well, his opponent in the top left position, who I may remember for defending Illusion's gold base build very well, is Zenith of Origins TooDming. TooDming. It's a fun name. You know,
it is really fun to say. I can definitely see the joy.
You can say it if you want, Kevin. It's okay.
TooDming.
it's infectious.
I'm just gonna drive home in my car. I'm just gonna be like TooDming.
To get the TooDming soundtrack.
We see the pylon go down on the low ground for Alicia.
13 forge.
Yep, he's gonna drop that relatively quick forge. TooDming is going to scout this, so he can always decide to drop the spawning pool first, and I definitely recommend him doing that. And he is on the same page as us. Sometimes, you know, people will laugh in the face of danger and they still go hatch first, and they crush Cannon Rush convincingly with their drones. But you're playing with fire, and there's no need to play with fire when you can play it safe.
First pylon already on the way. Alicia wants to rustle some feathers here.
I can see like a cannon and then a pylon. Cannon. I think that if I was TooDming, I'd keep this drone on patrol, and I would send another drone down to
another 2 drones.
Yep. All right. It's getting cancelled immediately, but it can still be annoying and block that hatchery for a little while. Alicia has had a whole new meta. I feel that cannon rushes have really grew. Like in the old days, it was just like drop a pylon and then it was really obvious, or you try to go for the ramp. But now there's this whole new meta where you can somehow find corners and tuck cannons in, then squeeze the probe out. And like it's very hard to say for a Zerg player, is like, is this serious or is this a fake?
I just remember, and I always, he, the Galsey is the guy that I always think about when I look at this. Some of the most beautiful architecture for cannon rushes, and it's really funny because I feel like this trend started a lot, and there was some interesting commentary about the way that it was done. But SOS was like the big pioneer of just going crazy with cannon rushes towards the end of last year's WCS championship, and now everybody's like always looking for these really cool spots to abuse the map architecture.
Yeah, there are a couple of really prolific cannon rushes out there, like Galsey, and of course WCS as well on the North American server. Who hasn't been cannon rushed by WCS? And it's fun. Of course, SOS did it in a different way. He always just is like, all right, I'm going to drop the forge. If you go hedge first, I will cannon you. And if you don't, I'm just going to block and I'm going to drop the nexus. But yeah, cannon rushes have sort of reached the whole new meta, where right now you even have to worry about all these tiny little corners. Of course, the one that's being used most of the time right now is the one on Frost, with a tiny little corner on top of the map. One more thing that map makers have to worry about in the future of designing maps, Nate. I feel sorry if you're a map maker, like 100,000 things. You make this beautiful map and the only thing that StarCraft 2 pros do is try to abuse it. It's so ungrateful.
Just try to, I like that. The seeming just abuse of maps. It's a shame. My favorite thing about Habitation Station, obviously aside from like the gold lifting parts, is I feel like there's a lot of stuff that doesn't even see too much use, like the late game. Like, I haven't seen too many strategies that revolve around sealing off the left side of the map with like the constructible rocks, and maybe that's just because a lot of people are smarter than me and know there's not too much you can do with them. But there's been an interesting trend in these different setup maps, like merry-go-round as well.
Yep, definitely. We see +1 on the way already for Alicia. Of course, that quick forge that he wants to use to perhaps drop some cannons is also can also be used in many different ways. So all of his little gateway timings of 3 gates, 4 gates will most likely hit with +1 upgrade already, and that of course makes it a lot more scary. There is a Zealot, a Stalker, and a Mothership Core making its way across the map. There was no extractor down yet for TooDming, so he's gonna have to defend this with slow Zerglings and Queens. There is no Creep Tumor connecting both bases either, so this could be very annoying. Creep Tumor is gonna go down right now. Ooh, if Alicia was there to kill one of those tumors already, he might actually be able to get this one. That's also very nice. If he gets the second one as well, that would be so nasty.
Something for almost nothing.
Oh, so close.
He can't attack himself like a Hellion would, but he will go for TooDming's Queen. Zealot picks off a drone while the Queen tries to attack the Zealot, and the Mothership Core is here as well. So
this is really annoying.
Yeah, this is really frustrating to deal with, I'd imagine, Roddy.
Yep, a couple of slow Zerglings are going to help a lot, as we see that one Queen is going to usher this Mothership Core out for now as well. But there are 3 more gates on the way. There is no probe on the map just yet, so I'm a little bit surprised by that triple gateway follow-up over here for Alicia, while this Stalker is taking a lot of damage. So far, I don't think that Alicia did the damage he was hoping for. Getting a 2 more on the Queen is nice, but I think he was hoping for a tiny bit more. But he did force out a lot of Zerglings, and if he keeps this Stalker alive, then it's okay. If he loses the Stalker, then I don't think it's okay, but we'll see. Yeah. Of course, it's a close call regardless. Great Overlord Scout over here by TooDming. So he's going to see these 3 gateways and the Twilight Console as well. So from this point on, he knows, alright, I have some time to macro up. But soon I'm going to need to produce a lot of units. Or you can just sit back for a long time and make imps and make swarmos. It's fine too.
And that's always an option. +1 attacks complete. Twilight Council is as well, so we're going to see Blink, I imagine, +2. And we have a 3rd Nexus coming up for Alicia. So I really like to see the Blink +2 attack timings. That's probably my favorite. Anything that you particularly prefer in this scenario, Roddy?
I'm not sure if Alicia is going to be the aggressive player or the defensive player, while we had a small leg spike, as you guys can see. But the game is live already, so we can just go ahead and jump back into game. You know, there are always 2 ways to go at it as a Zerg player. Either Zerg players make a ridiculous amount of units and they try to break this, or they just say like, all right, you got 3 bases pretty quick. It's fine, I'm get 4 and we're gonna play the game like that, you know. It's one way or the other. If Zerg players do decide to make a lot of units, it's going to be pretty damn important that they either absolutely cripple the Protoss with killing a lot of Stalkers, some Pylons, a cannon and a bunch of probes, or you just kill the base. Either 2 is fine, but you can't make all these units of your current economy while Protoss is going up to 3 bases, and then you're not looking to, or then you won't deal the damage that you're looking for, then things get dicey.
Yeah. For sure. Last thing you want to do is be an even economy with the Protoss and not be resetting that advantage in some way. So Blink and +2 getting closer and closer to completing. Road speed as well. That Overseer went in for just a peek. Wanted to see what was up, what was hanging in Alicia's base.
fake Oracle is going to do the exact same thing on the other side of the map. Considering the fact that these extractors are still not taken, I'm kind of starting to feel that TooDming wants to produce a sick amount of units. He has 20 Zerglings now, 15 Roaches, more Zerglings on the way, more Overlords on the way. He really wants to cancel this base. I'm not sure if he has the numbers for it, even though right now it's pretty much sentries and sentries only, and force fields are fantastic, don't get me wrong. You can see TooDming as well. He wants to bring the sentries to the low ground and maybe either force out the force fields. There are drones going up behind this, but he still made so many units that I really feel that he has to do something over here.
What if he forces out force fields and then just runs to the third? Like if he blocks off his natural ramp? I guess it's not going to matter.
Alicia ain't going to fall for that. Okay, so TooDming is not really going to commit to what he wants to do. You do see Ventral Sacks being researched, and it kind of makes me wonder, obviously, the Bailing Nest as well. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
He's just like, alright, if you're going to make 9, 10, 11 sentries, I'm just going to drop some Bailings all over your sentries, like we saw Henry do earlier today. Henry Lisk. Alicia is probably cool, like, come on, man, what's happening? I haven't played against Bailing drops in years, and now I play against it twice in one day.
This used to be almost standard, really. Bailing drops just happen all the time. Remember those days? Coming back into style, Kevin.
The +2 Bailings, of course, one-shot workers, and makes them really fantastic. If you drop a couple of +2 Bailings in the probe line, well, all of the probes will fall.
Well, he's got a nice position on this fourth, and he's going to retreat. There's still a reasonable number of Banelings waiting on the other side. Roaches on the other side.
I'm still very worried for TooDming. His army is just not very strong currently. He needs to get a couple of Banelings immediately. He does have sick macro. I can't believe he even has this 5th base up and running.
He's building 9 Overlords, so he's going to go way over his supply cap amount necessary. So this is probably him preparing to go for this drop.
Alicia is probably like, what's wrong with this Chinese Zerg? Why is he on 5 bases at the 12-minute mark? We have the Warp Prism as well on the north side of the map. There's almost like no way that TooDming can defend this base unless he just sends all of his units to the bottom side of the map now. And does he have a couple of Overlords as well with Banelings? I don't think we even have Banelings yet. That Warp Prism in the main nade, I'm going to keep a close eye on it because that's going to be scary. For now, this surround is good. Where are the well, no, actually it's good enough to force a recall. Let's take a look at the main base. A couple of Zealots are going to kill quite a few drones over here as the Queen has already been picked off.
Yeah, he's trying to chase them drones down. These Zerglings trying to buy some time. Actually, just targets the lair. Picking this off would actually be pretty awesome, but I feel the Roach is coming up here. It looks like it should be defendable.
Yep, this layer will live for now, as we have more and more Stalkers being wiped in over here on the right side of the map. TooDming is maxed out, but his army is not extremely strong. He has +0 or 1 Roaches, excuse me. A few Zerglings, soon to be Banelings. He has Baneling speed. He does have 41 Roaches, so even though the upgrades are not good, okay, this is a great position for Alicia to fight. And I guess eventually, you know, if I was him, I'd just get a cannon or something over here that can shoot away at these drones. And then you don't have to worry, then there will always be some damage coming to that Zerg's way. The Warp Prism is still active as well, but there are a few Roaches left behind in the main base. What a bizarre little playstyle here from TooDming. It feels like we're watching a Wings of Liberty game. He's maxed out on Zerglings, Banelings, and Roaches.
He's starting to get out the Banelings. First Overlord full of them now. And building 5 more Banelings. Warp Prism trying to find a position where it can do something. +3 attack and Colossi in production for Alicia. This is what you need. Here comes 5 Zealots into the natural expansion. But the army... kind of in an interesting spot on the right side. Some Stalkers blinking back against these Banelings and Roaches. He knows there are Banelings on the map now, too.
After picking a couple of those Banelings off, one more Queen will fall, but we still have 4 of them, surprisingly. I mean, I'm really surprised by TooDming's macro. He still has so much money as well. He's getting 2 upgrades now. He's going to try to surround these Blink Stalkers in the middle of the map. There is just so many Zerglings and Banelings, but there is 1 Colossus now, and that Colossus is the kingpin of this playground. As there is just no way that these Zerglings and Banelings want to mess with him.
He collects all the lunch money.
Yes, he does. Even if you don't want to give it, it's like, no, this is the one day my mom gave me a Kinder Bueno, I don't want to give it. You're going to have to give it to this guy.
He takes your Lunchables from you.
He's going to take it.
Oh, man. Force field's going down, trying to cut these Roaches off. He's still got the Overlords with those Banelings in them, so the sentries, they remain a very high-profile target for a potential engagement that could go down here.
Yes, we unfortunately have another screen, but the game will continue immediately. A lot of Zerglings going to try to make their way into the base, but that's not going to happen. Force Fuse will trap so many of these Zerglings, and all of them will fall. That Warp Prism is still active as well on the main base. There is still just a few Roaches, barely enough to pick off these Zealots, as that Warp Prism is taking quite a bit of damage. Drones being transferred to the main base. We still have these Banelings in these Overlords as well. Maybe he's going to drop some Banelings on the mineral line, as +2 is about to finish up. But you know, Nate, without the Spire, without Corruptors, or without anything that's really good against to kill Colossus, I'm having a hard time believing that he's going to kill Colossus. gonna have to drop a lot of Banelings on the Colossus to kill it.
Yeah, quite a few, I would say.
I mean, if he morphs all of his Zerglings into Banelings, just look at this. He has so many minerals. How much larva does he have?
Well, that's what happens when you have 5 bases in 12 minutes.
He has 30 larva. That's
a swarm host level bank right there.
Yeah. More zealots being wiped in natural. Alicia is like, whoa, okay, I'm gonna go up to 4 bases as well. I think he blocked his own Nexus over here. This is such a silly game, Nate. What are we watching?
I don't know, another couple force fields lock in some Zerglings. He's chasing. It looks like TooDming wants to go for the fight. Roach is getting on top of the Stalkers. Here come the Overlords, moving closer and closer. He's trying to run away. He's like, no, 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 not on me, please. And he's trying to step back. Another blink back, Colossus in position. And here come the Banelings on the Stalkers, actually getting some really good connections on the gateway units, but those force fields, man, those Colossi destroy the Roaches in that tight a choke.
Yep, you don't mess with those Colossus. Perhaps this is why TooDming made so many Overlords as well. That even if he lost a few, it still wouldn't be supply block. Oh my god, he just made 20 Overlord. Okay, he realized that that's a few too many. And he cancels like 12 of them. And now actually I think he might just need those. Nah, he still has 10 on the way. That's fine. I don't think in my life I've ever seen 20 Overlords on the production tab, you know. You learn something new every day, or you see something new every day, and this time we saw 20 Overlords. He needs a few more. Okay.
That's one way to spend a bank.
I mean, I just don't believe in Roach Bane against Colossus.
No, the splash damage is really strong. He does come in. I mean, the Banelings are hitting the Colossi.
Okay.
He's making it happen, guys. 2 Colossi down, targeting the 3rd one. Gets it. 4th Colossus will get destroyed as well. And this is madness, Roddy. Yeah,
there are still, of course, a lot of Stalkers. These Roaches are +0, by the way.
Dark Templar being worked in as well.
+0 Roaches against 3-0 Stalkers. That's not a very fair fight. There's so many Roaches on the production tab. I mean, TooDming can produce mineral units for days. Do you think he's aware of the fact that he never took his extractors in his main? It's like, TooDming, you know, you got a lot of this blue thing, but you need a little bit more of the green thing. And this is how you get it.
Yeah.
No! Take the extractors, TooDming.
Take your gas.
TooDming, please. Mine some gas.
Please.
It's a really useful resource.
All right, well, the Dark Templar did a great job of isolating this 5th base, but there's still a lot of Roaches here to fight off this mass Stalker force.
He could make so many more Roaches if only he had more gas as well. We have 56 Zerglings in the production tab. That has to be all the larvae that he has, and yes, it is. A lot of drones being sacrificed as those drones from the main base were added to this 5th base. The Blink Stalker count is just growing out of control now. We have 49 Blink Stalkers with +3 upgrades against 79 Zerglings and 29 Roaches. You know, theoretically, TooDming could win this if... okay, this one Colossus is actually a little bit of a...
He's the anchor.
Yeah, he's no fun. He tips this in the favor, otherwise this could be...
It's no fair. You brought your Colossus to the fight.
Yeah, it's like, man, like, do you see Broodlords over here or something? Let's keep it fun. This is going to be a really sick Zerg surround party, but that one Colossus is going to kill so many Zerglings. Banelings being added to the mix again as well.
And he's going to drop him on top of the Stalkers. He tries to blink split, but still gets a couple detonations. There's a lot of Stalkers left over, however. Colossus was picked off. The supply still holding strong in Alicia's favor as he continues to press forward. And this is one of those spots. I mean, does he have enough? I guess he has enough gas to make more Roaches.
He has no larva.
Oh, no.
He's been losing the majority of his queens, and he only has 9 larvae to work with. We see 9 more Roaches on the production tab. A lot of Zerglings are streaming in. A couple of these Stalkers are taking some damage, but I still feel there are enough Stalkers over here. 40 Axiom Protoss. Roaches coming closer and closer, but these are 0-2 Roaches, and 0-2 Roaches are just not as scary as +3 Stalkers.
No, not at all. GG is called, and Alicia will take our first map here in this best of 3 at the winners match of WCS America Premier League Group F. Not too shabby. That actually was surprisingly cool play out of TooDming.
Yeah, it was really cool. I just don't really understand why he didn't take at least one more set of extractors. When you have 4,000, 5,000 minerals in the bank, there's really no need to keep all those drones on minerals. Just send a few of them to those extractors. And I think he also didn't react properly to the Warp Prism. He had Roaches in the right places, and he never took that much damage, even though in the long run he did lose the layer. But I think the biggest problem was that Alicia did such a good job at sniping those queens, and that made it much harder for TooDming to have the larva bank that he would normally perhaps have in that phase in the game. Because, you know, he still had 4,500 minerals, 600-700 gas in the end. So, you know, normally if he spends that is a lot of Roaches. I don't even want to know how many Roaches you can make of that, but plenty, probably like 20, 30 roaches easily. And then maybe TooDming is able to survive a little longer, and we still have a real game on our hands. Either way, I think it was a really cool play. I liked it, going up to 5 bases at the 12-minute mark. Not something I see very often. But I think upgrades and just not enough gas were the biggest problem for TooDming.
Yeah, having gas, I think, definitely changes things a lot. When you look at the way that the army compositions clash, like fighting without any, you didn't have any corruptors, you didn't have any vipers, you didn't have any hydralisks. These are the kind, and I guess hydras maybe not as much, but they have the range at least to try to hit the colossi when you get close. The fact that he was able to take engagements and kill 4 colossi with that gateway ball with the army that he was running, still pretty impressive. But just because it looks cool to fight with a technically inferior army doesn't mean it's going to win you the game.
No, I don't mind the fact that he didn't have Hydralisk that much, because that was obviously his play. Like, he was going for those Banelings. He was trying to make this happen with Roach Baneling. And theoretically it is possible. I do think a Spire would have helped so much already. A few Corruptors actually shooting down this Warp Prism, because now, even when he had Roaches in the right place to deal with the Zealot harassment, then the Warp Prism just chills in the corner for a bit until there is a fight somewhere in the middle of the map, and then the Warp Prism comes back. And that is so frustrating for, basically any race, if you just can't catch that dropship that is around your base, but you have nothing to kill it. So if he had a Spire, even if he has a single Corrupted, then at least he can actually eliminate that Warp Prism and he can focus on the fight. But if you have a Spire, maybe make 10 Corruptors, and then Colossus are a little less scary. Then again, you still have to worry about 50 Stalkers. But it was a cool game regardless. I guess we shouldn't look too much into it. I really like the way that TooDming played it. Could have done a few things better, but it was an exciting game. And of course, props to Alicia for being able to cope with the madness that was thrown at him.
Yeah. Coping with the madness is one way to put it. So our next map is going to be Overgrowth for this Zerg versus Protoss. And how do you like this map? This is the first one that we saw the Banelings drops come in from Hendrilisk earlier in today's matches.
It's real fun, because I don't think in the last 20, 30 shows that we've been on, I've seen Baneling drops in this matchup, and now we see it twice in one day. I like Overgrowth personally, Nate. Well, I'm just reconnecting to Battle.net real quick, so I was not able to join the game. But hopefully now I am. I think Overgrowth is fun. I think it's the map that I enjoy PvZ on the most from the new maps. I like Merry-Go-Round. I like King's Young Station to play on in general. But PvZ I actually think is pretty cool on this map. Even though there are a couple of really silly strategies, and I blame cats for creating most of them, which include taking like your opponent's gold base. It's like, oh, I just want to play a normal PvZ game. Cats, leave me alone.
Yeah, well, I connect with that sentiment. I love the weird builds. Whenever I play Zerg on that map, which isn't terribly often, I think the gold base I like try it, and then they just send a probe scout and they like check it. It doesn't really do much. Or if they open gateway, like they just rush something really fast to it because the distance isn't very close. But
true, but it can still, you can definitely still defend it. However, I don't think TooDming is going to do something that crazy. We have seen that he definitely gives his own touch to the matchup, at least on the habitation station, and even last season we saw a couple of cool builds by him as well. He's not your super standard Zerg. He's also not absolutely crazy that he can't play a standard macro game, because he can. He's definitely capable of doing so, but he's creative in a way, just to give the little TLO sentiment to it. He's a creative Zerg.
He's a creative Zerg. You know what's one of the weirdest things that I've seen playing Protoss against Zerg? You're playing Heavy Rain. You could actually have built in the natural expansion. You can build a hatchery on Heavy Rain behind the mineral line. Has anyone ever proxy hatched you there before?
Behind the mineral line?
Behind the natural mineral line in Heavy Rain, there's actually enough space to put one. Like the first time I played Protoss versus Zerg
in the
on that
natural?
Map. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of space. I know. I don't think anyone has ever done that to me.
I got road trush there. I didn't see it coming at all. I went Nexus first. I was like, okay, went out, scouted. I'm like, where's this hatchery? Because he didn't have a spawning pool yet.
So that wasn't. There was a natural in your natural?
There was a natural in my natural.
That's next level meta. I don't think we're going to see that either, and I don't think it's possible on Overgrowth.
No.
Either way, we are ready, and our players are ready. Of course, once again, thanks everyone very much for tuning in to WCS America. Let us know what you think about the games. Let us know who you're cheering for. Hashtag WCS at the Twitter universe. And for now, we're just going to go ahead and jump into game number 2. As you guys can see, beautiful Overgrowth is in front of us.
Yeah, it's a nice map. A lot of cut down trees though. But our first player in the top right position, the red Protoss player from Team Axiom, it is Alicia, currently holding a 1-0 lead in this best of 3. And of course, Alicia's opponent 5 bases by 12 minutes, I think, was our benchmark. Very cool play from our Zenith of Origins Zerg. It is TooDming. TooDming.
Are you really going to keep doing that for the rest of your career when you cast TooDming?
Yeah, man. TooDming makes it to the grand. This is an investment in Reddit karma if TooDming gets to the grand finals. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Buy stocks now.
Yeah, you have a real interesting sense of you. You know, there's in the NBA they have this thing called the Hibbett coin. Maybe you should start the TooDming coin. It starts low, but then if TooDming goes big, then you invest it in the TooDming coin.
I don't know, man. I
And you
invested
can
in
trade.
Dogecoin. It's too late.
And you can invest in TooDming coins, you know, before he actually blows up and he goes real big. He goes viral.
I get the TooDming rookie card.
Yeah, and then you can basically like, you know, there's going to be a new measurement system. Right now we're using Ali Gulag points or Team Liquid points, but then it's going to be how many points, how many TooDming coins is Alicia worth? Like currently, Alicia is a better player than TooDming because he's up 1-0, so you would say that he's worth 3 TooDming coins. But if TooDming comes back and wins the entire season, then next season Alicia is only like 0.5 of a TooDming coin.
Why don't we have this already? That's what I want to know. Where's my MVP coins, man?
It's a whole new measurement system.
How many MVP coins is TooDming shy of a GSL?
Alrighty, we see the Nexus first go down on the low ground for Alicia, followed up by the Gateway in his base. It's a little bit of a risky opening against some crazy Zerg openings, also because he doesn't scout, so this is definitely quite crazy. If you face a certain early pool, it's going to be extremely hard to defend. I think especially 10 pool speedling is really, really hard to hang into. It is possible, players like Parting have done this in the past, but I think it's very, very difficult. But he doesn't have to worry about that just yet. As TooDming is just opening up very safe. So far no extractor went down. Of course that is something we know, not something Alicia could possibly know. It's a good SimCity that he has going for himself over here. Yeah. I should really take notes of these layouts of these Protoss players because my builds are ugly. Not even makeup could fix my builds, Nate. They're so bad.
Well, I think I'm the guy that when I wall off, I always have like one extra hex open, so I think my Zealot's blocking, and then they go in from the other side. So I don't know if I can really give any advice on that.
See, 2 slow Zerglings are going to have a good time harassing this little probe, who's going to try to go to the main. He can actually go for the other probe, and Alicia's aware of that. And we'll keep his probe alive for now. As that one Zealot is going to be the hero of the day. The hero that these probes need and deserve. As this Overlord gets a good scout and sees, like, alright, so you went Nexus first into gate. You greedy Protoss, you. If I win this game, I'm going to temple you next game. And you're going to have a bad time.
Maybe. Sentry on the way for Alicia. 3rd hatchery up for TooDming. And now a Forge coming in for our Protoss player. So Sentry's off double gas. Obviously, it doesn't have to be anything committed off 2 bases. No crazy 2-base 4-gate. What do you like to see on this map? Do you think this is a good map for Stargate? Is it too late to go into Stargate?
No, it's definitely not too late. I would actually not be surprised if he goes for Stargate. Alicia is definitely a Stargate Protoss player. He loves his gateway pushes. He loves his gateway +1. But in the past, he has shown us Stargate so often. But since he still hasn't dropped it, he's probably not going to do it. And we'll probably see just 3 gates. He might put on some fake pressure. I'm actually expecting him to just go up to 3 bases again. In a way, Alicia plays a little similar to Puck. They both don't really sweat. You know, it doesn't really matter how economically Zerg is playing on the other side of the map. 3 hatcheries, no extractors. I don't care. I'm still going to do my thing. I might put on some mid-game pressure, but as long as I can get my Blink Stalkers +2 on the way and I can go up to 3 bases, I am loving the Protoss side of life. Which I think is quite remarkable because I always sweat when Zerg has so much freedom. But these Protoss players, they don't give a damn.
No, they just play their own game, man. Just like you just build everything up, and build up the little model base and everything, and then go for it. +1 attack is on the way. Double assimilator being taken in the natural of Alicia as well.
TooDming is going to have such a good economy to work with, Nate. Like, this is really when I play like this, you know, and I'm just going to try to go up to 3 bases. By the time that I have like 55 to 60 probes, Zerg has like 81 and they have like 3-3 on the way. Well, not 3-3, but you know, that's how it feels psychologically to me. Like, you know, it's like, oh, the well upgrades.
When I try to do this, it's always like I feel like I scout that it's normal, and then they just somehow always have like 20 speedlings whenever I try to take my 3rd base. And then I'm like, oh my god, they kill my 3 sentries. And then they like, next time you go take your 3rd base, they have like a lair so the Overlord's dumping creep on it. And then, like, well, might as well go in off 2 bases now. And then there's a bajillion roaches.
Well, here we have the tiny push by Alicia. I don't think he even brought a probe along, so this is real fake. This is some In Control Wings of Liberty playstyle over here, where he just moves out, takes his own watchtower, and he's like, hey, Zerk, you better make some units, and then he goes back. Shout out to Jeff. Jeff's awesome. He's probably kind of rushing a Zerk player as we speak. Sorry, Jeff.
It's okay. It's okay. It's be proud of that. He's a pretty good cannon rusher.
He is.
Roach speed is on the way. Zergling speed just passing halfway mark. Robotics facility is coming in, and a Twilight Council. So as this Mothership core gut checks the tower once again to send a Phoenix out, he, well, I guess he doesn't really have anything to worry about, or at least he's not planning to get crazy aggressive himself. However, this is a good setup for some aggression. He hasn't gotten any lair tech aside from Roach speed.
No, I wonder as well. This is so sick. He's again putting all these hatcheries on location. He's gonna have 5 hatches up and running. Maybe not saturated, but they will all be there. And we see a Spire go down as well in an interesting position, which almost makes me feel that he wants to hide it, because you know this is not normally where you see Spires. Hasn't been scouted throughout the entire game.
Make it like the reverse of his last game, where he took no gas. Now he takes the 5 bases of gas, and he gets like 50 mutas out at 15 minutes.
I mean, he's going to have a ridiculous economy if he really wants to. He's in 65 drones now, but 14 more on the way. That is 80 drones, or 79, but soon to be 80 probably, that we are going to look at. And he's selling it as in the same way as last game. I really like how TooDming is playing this. That probe is so dead, Nate. There's no way that probe is going to live.
No. Was it ever alive?
No, you know, everybody dies, but does everybody live? No, not that probe. That probe did not live. He was trying to make it more than what it is. I'm quoting Nicki Minaj over here, but it's not really coming out.
I was hoping we get like some sort of Pinocchio level. It's like, you know, he wanted to live, but he couldn't. Oh well. His 4th base in the bottom right's done. The 5th base is technically complete, and he has taken quite a few more extractors this game than the last map. So this hallucinated Phoenix Scout, Roddy, did it see?
Is it going to see the Spire? That is going to be the most important thing. He is well on his way. Oh, he doesn't see it.
Nope.
All right, so right now, but the thing is though, this is still really interesting. If I was TooDming, I would not reveal my mutas. I would not reveal them when I have 9. Like, no,
if you have 5 bases, don't reveal them until you've got a ton of mutas.
Yeah, I would really not go anything between over 16. I'd say it's okay. Show them, because then you can actually do real damage as well. But I wouldn't want to show 9 Mutalisks. Show your Zergling, show your Roaches, but hide your mutas.
Hide your mutas. He's got how many on the map right now? 9. 6 are about to finish.
Yeah, I really like how he's playing this out.
Yeah, and his gas income is really good. He's close to like 1,000 gas a minute.
And you know, of course, I have spoken about this in the past, and I've said, like, I don't like muta switches in general against +2 blink stalkers, but when you have an economy like this, and when you're also selling it the way that TooDming is doing, I think this is just fantastic play so far, and I really think that he's setting himself up in a great position, because right now the last thing that Alicia's worried about is more blink stalkers. He's getting charged, he's getting Roboblade, he's getting Prism, he's getting 3 things that are completely and utterly useless.
And how could Alicia expect this? There wasn't even a Spire in the last game that went on for God knows how long. So
you know, actually in a straight-up fight, this is not even going to be that bad.
Well, the Observer sees the mutas, so if you didn't know before,
and now Alicia's like, oh, come on, really? Mutas? Force fields are gonna go down, but a lot of units stream through. These sentries are so exposed. Look at these Mutalisks, Nate.
Just getting on top of everything. It's nice that the next set of force fields still gets cast to try to hold these Roaches away, let the Stalkers
play. Man. I really like how TooDming has played this game. 7 more Mutalisks are on the way. I think for Alicia it's going to be so extremely difficult to ever go up to 4 bases at this point. I don't think he should even try. I think the only thing that he can hope for is just cannon up on 3 bases, slowly but steady, let your supply grow, and then eventually, you know, get everything. He's getting Stargates, but he's going to need more than just Stargates, because by the time that he gets a respectable Phoenix count out, he's going to have to worry about over 40 Mutalisks, you know. It's like, yay, 2 Phoenixes, 40 mutas.
Have fun. Zealot's going to run over towards the left side base, and there are the mutas.
Yep, it's really important as well for TooDming that he gets vision of everything on his side of the map. He should have nothing to worry about. He has absolute max control, map control. He's maxed out. He's getting a few more drones that he can morph into static defenses if he really wants to. Oh, well, what sick play. Of course, you know, you could say he got a little bit fortunate because the Spire didn't get scouted, but even if it was, I still would have loved to play. Time Warp goes down. These Mutalisks are just going to hide above all these Stalkers because there are so many freaking Mutalisks.
There's just a crazy amount of air force here for TooDming, and he's coming in on top of all the Stalkers that remain. Still 17 Mutalisks in production behind this. He's got 18 on the map, more Stalkers warped in, but they are just getting annihilated.
Do you believe in a thing called the Muda?
I do. I believe.
Or as Zocca would say, Muta. These Mudas are just killing everything. There are 2 Phoenixes right now showing up to this party, but like I said before, you're going to have 2 Phoenixes chipping away. Right now 15 Mutalisks, so this is actually something like it sort of works, but there are so many Mutalisks on the way on the other side of the map. Blinking your Stalkers doesn't even really work against this many Mudas. More Mudas coming up. Phoenix is taking damage, not falling just yet, but I don't think that Alicia can stabilize from this point, Nate. It's just crazy. It's a Muda party.
Yeah, that's the only way to put it. There's a Muda festival and everyone's invited. GG, TooDming ties the series up.
It's a Muda mosh pit in the air. It's dangerous.
They had the Muda mash.
Yeah. Man, I wouldn't be a part of a Muda mash. They all have like these stingy tails and stuff. It's like, yeah, high five, bro, and then it's the stingy in the back.
Bro, is it cool if I bring my Thors to the party?
No. The Thor would be, I don't know, it would be devastating. Either way, really cool game by TooDming. I really love it. He's showing the same thing as he did in game number 1, but he's switching it up in a way that he thinks it could work. Of course, you know, normally you don't really want to Muda switch against +2 Blink Stalkers, but of course Alicia is worrying about other things as well. He's like, alright, I have my Stalkers, but now I'm going to get my Colossus, I'm going to get charged, you know. I'm going to do all the things that make my Protoss race strong against standard, Roach, Hydra, whatever you want to do, compositions. And then suddenly, like, well, here is close to 25 Mutalisk and then 35 Mutalisk, and he just flies in and he just straight up kills him. Really sick play.
Yeah, that was really cool, and especially the way that, like we saw in the first game, he went up to 5 bases. You said it's super fast before 13-minute mark, and then this game he does the same thing, but he takes all the gas. Instead of going crazy on the mineral units, he's able to get, like, that's such a crazy number of mutas. You usually have to wait until you lose a big fight and then remax on mutas. He was able to he just went straight for mutas and still overwhelmed his opponent.
It's also because, you know, Zerglings and Roaches, you can make a lot of them without actually being maxed out. Because, of course, in a straight-up engagement, you know, Roach Zergling is not extremely strong. So that's why you can get so many of them. You know, it's low supply units, especially the Zergling, but even the Roach. So if you scout as a Protoss player and you don't see the Spire, but you still see all these Zerglings and Roaches, and, of course, within the back of your mind, you think of game 1. You're like, okay, well, it's just a matter of time before he's going to bring in the Overlords again. He's going to bring in the Banelings. And now I'm going to shut this down, because all he saw was Roaches and Zerglings. So it was really hard to expect that there was a Muta switch on the way, especially with the way that that Spire was positioned. Of course, a little lucky that it didn't get scouted. But once again, even if it gets scouted, with the economy that TooDming has and the map control he has in that phase in the game, it's still a very tough game for Alicia, even if he scouts it.
Yeah, and, you know, it's also important to mention that despite whether or not it was, you know, obviously lucky that he didn't see it, but that was a really cool position to put it in, because he did send a lot of hallucinated Phoenixes through his base to try to find if there was anything going on. As a Protoss player, that's one of the things that's like super hard. You'll always have to make sure that you know what tech the Zerg player is on, because it can take time to make a transition that can be safe and ready to defend against it. So Alicia, I don't really feel like he made any huge mistakes up to that point, but TooDming just had a remarkable control over the way that that game just went through the first 15 or so minutes.
Yep, it seems like both players are ready, and I'm ready as well, so I'm just going to double check. Alicia says go, go. TooDming said go, go a few seconds ago, so I'm sure that he's good to go as well. We're going to fire up game number 3. The winner of this game, the winner of this map, which of course has to be Frost, what else could it be, is going to qualify for WCS America Premier League round of 16, which will be played in a couple of weeks, most likely towards the later stages of June. It's not been officially announced yet, so I'm not going to say anything, Nate. Otherwise they get mad at me again. Keeps happening. But it's going to be awesome. We have a lot of great players. And also, if TooDming wins this, he will be the very first non-Korean to qualify for the WCS America Finals. That is awesome.
He's got the Chinese banner, man. He's going to try to do it. He's going to try to make it happen. We're loaded in to lovely, lovely Frost. I mean, I feel like we almost live on this map, Kev.
Well, yeah.
I didn't think it was that gun. All right, our first player in the bottom right position, spawning as the Blue Zerg, representing Zenith of Origins, and our Chinese representative for Group F, it is TooDming.
It's funny because it's so warm in California that it's like we live on the opposite of Frost. Like, if anything, we would probably be living on Overgrowth, you know, like a sunny map. But we do see Frost a whole lot, so I'm starting to feel a little chilly already.
And then it just gets the placebo effect, man. Next thing you know, there'll be snow in the studio. Our Protoss player in the bottom left position, representing Team Axiom. It is Alicia.
But once again, just to praise TooDming a little more, that macro, Nate. That macro. Really well done. He's making a lot of units. He's still droning up. Being active with his units as well while everything is going on, going 4 bases, 5 bases so damn quick, and also showing us right now that he's capable of doing both. He can play the mineral heavy composition, but he can also just switch it up and go for a gas composition and still get away with the madness that he has shown us. Now, it's going to be harder to do this on Frost, especially on these spawning locations, because if I know my Alicia, and I think I know Alicia pretty well, then if he tries to go up to 5 bases that quickly, Alicia is going to march across the map with 7 gates plus 1, 8 gates plus 2 Blink Stalker with a Robo, or even a good old Immortal Sentry all in. And on these positions, I don't think that if you have 5 hatcheries, you can ever get away with it. Then again, I also don't think that TooDming is playing on the autopilot mode, that he will just blindly go 5 hatch again without actually seeing what's going on. He's probably quite a reactive player as well, and is able to adapt on the fly to whatever is going on. So I'm very excited. You know, I've said it before, I think last season he was really impressive, but I love how he has played these previous 2 games out. Game 1 was a little silly, but it was still cool to watch. But in Game 2 he showed us that it was not just silly, that if you switch it up a little more, it's actually just awesome.
Yeah, awesome is really the best way to put it. TooDming's showing us some cool Zerg play. I really like it. And you know, you mentioned reactive. We saw that he was able to adjust to what his opponent was doing when he was playing that series against Illusion earlier today. Really great job of not obviously dying to the gold lift build, but also being able to react to an opportunity that he was able to gain to attack him. So I definitely think that, I mean, I can't say that he'll change his build, but if he's given an opportunity to, again, that 5-base strategy looks awful scary, Roddy.
Yeah, but it's going to be so hard on Frost because it's much harder to have absolute map control. Like, how, if you take your 5th base over here, which I guess is the most likely position to do it, then how can you make sure that there is no pylon anywhere over here on the north side of the map? There are so many locations for good pylons, and it's just very hard to scout. So I don't think that's going to be the case. Alicia, of course, went for his Nexus first on the low ground again, followed it up by the gate.
Yeah, nothing super unusual.
Honestly. Wait, what?
No.
No. Stop. Ah.
It's cool. Got to be a misclick. No.
No, it's not a misclick. This is an actual build.
No.
Yes, I've tried this. Crank has done this in the past. And Crank's teammate with Alicia, I do not believe that this is a misclick. I think he does this on purpose. This is awesome.
Oh my God.
Of course, if you guys are perhaps a little new to StarCraft or you don't understand why are these 2 nerds freaking out, it's because Alicia is just researching +1 air weapons. And this is very unusual for a Protoss player.
Instead of Warp Gate.
Yeah, but he's going to get +1 as well. He's going to open up with Phoenixes. And those +1 Phoenixes are so scary. I mean, unless he doesn't make a Stargate, and then obviously we look really stupid. Or I look really stupid for thinking that this is an actual threat. But it is. I think he's going to drop a Stargate real soon. He's making sure that his Overlord is not going to scout it. Stargate, come on, give me the Stargate. Then he's going to make a lot of Phoenixes. Those Phoenixes with +1 kill Queens and Overlords so quick. Even when Overlords are hovering above a Spore Crawler. Well, we see 2 more gates go down, Nate. Okay. I don't know, man.
I don't know, Kev. This is
I don't. Okay, maybe. Maybe you're right.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, this is an actual build. I've seen this in the past, and this can really work. Like Crank has done this. I'm not kidding, guys. I'm not trolling, right? +1 Phoenix is pretty damn awesome, but you know, if you research,
he's not going to realize until his +1 attack upgrade is complete.
Okay, you're right. I guess it was a misclick.
Oh no.
The good old 5-gate +1 air weapons.
Wait, he just popped a Guardian Shield too.
He's gonna be so sad. What's happening? Alicia, what's going on?
If this was me, I think honestly I would just leave the game when I noticed this.
He's going to be more...
I think he just clicked on it. Did he click on it?
He's so mad. Oh.
Oh no.
TT.
Oh no.
Any messages?
He just starts Warp Gate. He's like, okay.
Well,
he's Chrono boosting it, so he's gonna get it out a little faster.
And he has pylons in such good positions as well. It's so unfortunate, you know. This hatch would be so dead in the water. There's just no way that he keeps that hatchery alive. Because, you know, there are pylons in really good position.
If only I had.
You know, if this works, do you understand how many people are going to complain about Protoss, Nate?
I'm already complaining.
Okay, well, there are so many roaches on the way. I don't think that this can work anymore. You know, this warp gate tech is so late. TooDming is also probably wondering what the hell is going on in this game.
I'm not being attacked at all.
Yeah, he's like, you're not doing anything. And I see your pylon, so you're gonna warp in stuff soon, right? Right? Right?
I guess that's one way to metagame your opponent. If only that
He's like, cool, I get a free pylon.
Imagine if the mothership core actually benefited from the upgrade. Does it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's a +1 mothership core attack. Put that one on. Let's get that one. Let's get the article written on strategy guide. I want everything. I want a holographic edition of this build order.
You know, +1, you know, those mothership cores, if they have +3, they actually do quite some damage because they attack so quickly. So, we see 2 more gateways being wiped in. I was so sad, man. I was so pumped for my +1 Phoenix build. I used to do that in the days. You know, I guess it was already unlikely that I would see a Roddy build in a WCS match. But I have seen Crank do it, and I will stick to that till the bitter end. You can ask Froden. Froden is my living proof. Because I remember when I used to do it, I used to stream a lot with Froden, and he's like, Gav, I just saw Crank do a +1 Stargate build. I was like, nice.
Alright, well, he's going to get +2 in Blink. I guess you got to go macro when you skip Warp Gate at the beginning of the game.
Hey, but what if this is turned into a Tempest game and he can actually get like Tempest and Carriers and he has +1 air weapons already? Have you ever thought about that? Or a Muda switch. He's just so paranoid of that Muda switch in the last game. He's like, if he does it again, I got Phoenixes with +1 ready.
No, I think it's going to be really great to see this mothership core just kill everything so much faster than it normally would.
Kappa.
5
overlords in the production tab for TooDming, who's probably just as confused as we are. He did make a lot of units. He's up in 20 workers. Of course, this is a really good scenario for TooDming. Is this a full wall off? Okay, so this is a fake third base by Alicia. He's like, I'm gonna go 3 bases, but actually, Nate, he is not.
He's already warping in on the top right side.
Yep, and the Zerglings have seen it as well. These Zealots are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. I love how he's splitting up one Zealot. At the same time, these Zerglings are working on this Nexus that is not a real Nexus anyway. So it's going to be Roaches and Zerglings only from this point. Army supply 96 against 59. That should be enough for TooDming. Normally that's enough. Okay, he loses this hatch, which stinks for many reasons. Also the larva production. There is no hatchery over here, which I think makes Alicia a little sad. There's going to be so many Roaches.
Yeah.
You know how many roaches you can produce of 3 base Zerg with 67? I actually don't think, even if you have perfect injects, I still think you earn more money than you can spend on roaches.
Yeah, I was going to say, the roach max out build was off 3 bases. So I know exactly how many. You could just produce almost infinite.
Yep. Well, I mean, forces are scary, and there are no tunneling claws, so let's never underestimate the power of Protoss army, but this push is just so much later than it should be. We do have Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, man, he's holding them off as best as he can. That +1 mothership core with 4 kills right now. Going ham on this Zerg army and Alicia. You know, there's still a lot more roaches left to kill, but I think with this mothership core leading the charge, anything is possible.
Army supply is getting closer and closer. I think there's a big Zealot warping in the main as well that is doing more damage than it should. How many drones have fallen? Actually, not all that many. Crazy amount of forces are going down. There's still a lot of roaches on the production tab. You know, TooDming is actually struggling a little bit, Nate, because these drones are not mining anymore, so now the income is not all that high. He's going to have to crush the army right here and right now, otherwise he's losing everything.
Good blinks from Alicia are keeping him alive. He wants to move on to the round of 16. He's so close, but this last-ditch effort might barely push him back. He needs high ground vision. Oh, the mothership core.
And he still has the prism. He has the prism as well, which means that he could maybe kill the spawn. Does it warp in a sentry or something? I have no idea. The mothership core is still doing work, but of course, you know, the work count is even now, Nate. Even like Alicia should just back off probably.
Oh, he's getting caught on
losing
the
these stalkers, that really
side.
stinks.
The Zerglings coming in as well. He snapped up like a drone, but these Zerglings are not going to allow him to get away scot-free.
Mothership core is going to do some work. There's no queen in the main base. Go for it, mothership core is going to kill the spawn.
You know, normally it takes 48 minutes for a mothership core to kill a spawning pool. Now it only takes 43.
Look at this. This core is going to do work, son. Bam.
This is StarCraft.
This is esports.
This is esports. Right here.
History
unfolding.
is being made.
It's actually killing drones in the same number of hits it would normally take 2, which is really upsetting. He should have gone for the +2 time.
Really? I think it's one hit quicker, no?
No, I mean, the drones have 1 hit point left. Don't they usually have a bit more?
No, I guess it's because +1 armor on the drones.
Oh,
so
well, that's no fun.
Yeah, there's a counter. TooDming is aware of this build. He counted it.
He blind hard countered the +1 mothership core timing.
There are 6 Mutalisks in the production tab as well. You know, the follow-up is still good. If Alicia would have recalled out with those 5 Blink Stalkers, Nate, it maybe wouldn't have even been all that bad. There are Mutalisks right now, so if only that Nexus would have never died, then we could have seen some Stargate. And we could have seen some Phoenixes with +1.
Hey, I think that's still within the realm of possibilities, man. He should realize it pretty fast.
Yeah, but the problem is he's on 2 bases and 2 base pro. He has money. He doesn't have that much gas, but okay, we'll see. Did he actually see the Spire? You say he should. Yeah, he did see the Spire. So why is there a Spire? Look at that mothership core. Oh no! Recall.
Like, that is the scariest unit ever. It must have. Oh wait, no. He's scared to approach it.
He's like, just in case he's got another upgrade. Oh, Warp Prism actually gets picked off on the right top side of the map. That is a great pick-off for TooDming. Of course, all jokes aside, this is still a super important game. If TooDming wins this, he's going to be the very first non-Korean player to make it to WCS America round of 16. It would be his 2nd consecutive season in a row as well that he makes it to the round of 16, which is always impressive because WCS America is very, very difficult.
Yeah, no doubt about that. +3 attack.
And cannons.
More mutas. Cannons make a lot of sense. Still no Stargate, but I guess he's still kind of broke.
I'm so sad that he didn't make Stargate. Yeah, I really think it would have been awesome. Do you think he forgot he has +1? I don't think he's ever going to forget.
No, he's not going to forget. That's for sure.
Great counter over here by TooDming, forcing another cancel, making this push by Alicia so much more all in, but I don't think that Alicia wants to. I mean, how high is the muta count? 18. Okay, 19 Blink Stalkers, 4 Immortals. You know, theoretically, Alicia could win this. He has better upgrades. He has a good counter against the unit composition of TooDming. These Immortals are going to kill. The only thing that's scary, as silly as it sounds, is the Zerglings. Those Zerglings are actually very annoying. So these few Zealots that are in the mix, they could be the real MVPs of this army. Just for doing the basic things in life, and that is dealing with Zerglings. You know, another big... Okay, oh, Alicia's supply block. That's unfortunate. One more pylon is about to finish up. He's getting another pylon in his mineral line. We're going to see a bunch of sentries for some force fields. Alright, I don't mind it. You know, Nate, this push could work. And there's not like there's a crazy remax behind this, because TooDming lost a lot of workers in the last fight. TooDming is going to go for it. See, perhaps this is opportunity.
First force fields for Alicia going down. He's got the time warp as well. Guardian Shield now pops, helping to soak up hits. He's actually killing off these Mutalisks. At least a reasonable number of them. And the Warp Prism is still alive, as you mentioned, allowing him to get more reinforcements.
Yeah, I really think he should have gone for the Prism. He's not killing the Warp Prism. Alicia is going to win this fight. The Mothership Core is still alive as well, made a grand total of 15 kills throughout this game. And like I said before, Nate, TooDming doesn't have a crazy bank. He took quite some economic damage from that first push. I actually think that Alicia is going to win this after all.
There's the next Warping of Zealots to deal with those Zerglings. 5 more Stalkers being brought in to kill off the Mutalisks. And that Mothership Core with 16 kills may be able to finish this game here.
Has
Alicia done it? +1 Mothership Core. I believe, Roddy. Oh, I believe.
Well, it is going to happen. GG is called, and Alicia is going to qualify for the WCS America round of 16 after researching +1 air weapons before Warp Gate and never dropping a Stargate.
I don't have anything to add to that.
Sometimes, Nate, we say it best when we say nothing at all.
Amen. What a crazy game. Oh, man. TooDming's not dead yet, though.
Nope. That's right, guys. Well, TooDming has to beat himself. Of course, he's probably confused as well about what's happening. And he pulled a lot of drones. And defending that first push, Alicia's blinks are always good. His force suits are always good. You know, of course, Alicia shouldn't have won this game. That should not have happened. But that one Zealot warping on the top side of the map that killed that fort base, super important, because that allowed this all to be possible. Because otherwise, TooDming would have never been starving for money. But, you know, I refuse to analyze this game for anything else because I mean, refuse. I
just want to know if TooDming's going to look at the build order tab on the score screen. You can see the 4-minute, 34-second +1 air attack. And that's
that Mothership Core did
awkward.
That Mothership Core did rack up 15 kills, and if we had a DPS counter, I promise it was high.
Yeah, So, you know, I mean, Mothership Core definitely carried its weight. That's not the kind of game you're going to see terribly often,
Nope.
for sure. I think TooDming's unique style also made that a little bit more fun because he obviously didn't kill him before he got Warp Gate, which also might have been a real possibility.
Yep, or just actually take a real map control. And this was not really the Muta type of game either. Like on Overgrowth, it was so awesome and so cool because he was on 82 drones and 5 bases. Going Muta switches against Blink Stalkers with +2, and in that final fight, it wasn't ready yet in the start of the fight, but it was ready towards the end of the fight. +3 Blink Stalkers. If you're a poor Zerg, then Mutalisk is often just the wrong choice. Especially if you're playing against a 2-base Protoss that has no ambitions of ever expanding for real.
Yeah.
Either way, that was crazy, that was silly, but it was fun. It's definitely something to remember, and that of course what is StarCraft 2 all about. We're trying to have fun, hopefully you guys have fun as well. Alicia is going to be our first player to advance out of Group F. He was our Premier League seed of last season. Is TooDming going to be able to repeat his performance of last season, or are we going to see our first American qualify for WCS America round of 16? Illusion versus TooDming is coming up after this commercial break.